Anita Kreinz cleared of mischief for giving water to pigs that were on their way to slaughter. Let's go over to Marianne Demain for more on the verdict and reaction from the courthouse there in Burlington. Marianne.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Well, it was a case that garnered international attention this morning. The courthouse was packed in this courtroom, the courtroom was packed in this courthouse in Milton behind me here. And as the animal rights activist Anita Kreinz was acquitted on charges of criminal mischief, her supporters erupted in cheers.
Judge Harris's ruling today is further validation that compassion is never a crime. Compassion should never be illegal.
The judge's ruling today really acknowledges what we have said since the very outset of this case. In the formative stages, it was declared that compassion is not a crime, and the judge's ruling affirms that. What the judge says is, what Anita did was not a criminal offense.
Now, dozens of supporters greeted Kreinz with cheers as she walked outside. The judge said he was not convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that Kreinz interfered with property when she fed pigs water headed to the slaughterhouse back in 2015. Kreinz called it an act of mercy, and during the trial, the defense argued pigs are individuals, but the judge said under Canadian law, pigs are still considered property. Still, Kreinz says, as you heard, that today's verdict proves compassion is not a crime. Now, this morning, supporters and members of Toronto Pig Save held a vigil outside of Fearman's Pork in Burlington. Vigils were also held around the world, but members of the food industry say the verdict is not a win for everyone.
For us as producers, we work hard daily to ensure that food is delivered safely to the processing plant, and farmers have procedures and protocols on their farms to ensure continuity of care and that there's no risks to food safety or public health.
The biggest problem we have now is the fact that 97% of our farmers are family farms, and this puts a big jeopardy on their livelihood now, in the sense of every day they go to the barn to produce good quality food, good quality animals, and now it's put at risk.
And Marianne, yeah, I guess that's the big question, was the question for the judge really, was public safety put at risk here, and is it now kind of open season and are farmers going to be concerned moving forward when they're shipping livestock?
Well, one thing that was mentioned after the verdict was read out in court today was the fact that others continued to give pigs water as they were headed to the slaughterhouse. This did not stop after Anita Kreinz was charged and as her case went through the courts. So this isn't something that served as a deterrent for other activists who are trying to get their message heard that compassion is not a crime. One thing that he did mention, though, was that it was up to the Crown to prove without a reasonable doubt that Kreinz was not trying to obstruct property, the property in this case being the pigs. As he mentioned, pigs are considered property, not individuals, as the defense had been trying to prove. He also mentioned that she didn't stop the truck. She didn't go out of her way to stop the truck. It was stopped at a red light. And of course, giving the pigs water did not stop them from being slaughtered.
Well, it certainly was a much debated case and a much debated verdict, no doubt. Marianne Demain for us in Milton this afternoon.